Welcome to the Real Life Weight Loss Podcast, where we cut through the confusion and get down to the truth about what really works for real people when it comes to losing weight, having incredible health, and a body that you love. We believe that losing weight is really about gaining life, doing things you never thought you could, having renewed confidence, and enjoying your body more than ever. I'm your host, Corey Little. Now let's get to it. Hello and welcome back. This is episode number 249, and I hope that you are buckled up. I hope that you're ready because today's episode is going to be a little different. It's going to be a different style than what I usually do. So to get started, it's very important that we have an agreement. If you start listening to this episode, you must promise. You have to promise to stay and to listen until the very end, okay? Because if you don't, then you're not going to fully understand the message, and you'll probably honestly think that I'm just an absolutely horrible jerk, especially if you're new to this podcast. Please, if you're going to listen, if you're going to begin listening, you must listen until the very end, okay? Do we have a deal? So either leave now or, and I hope you don't leave, I want you to stay, but either leave now or promise to listen and pay attention to the entire episode, okay? Okay. So let's do it. Let's get started with weight loss tips and tricks that are guaranteed to work. I can say that confidently. I'm 100% confident in this. These are tips and tricks for losing weight that will work. You will lose weight without doubt. And you may be thinking, Corey, why have you been holding out on us? Like, what? Why isn't this in a book somewhere? Well, get ready to take notes because I'm going to pull the curtain back and share the truth. Here we go. Weight loss tips and tricks guaranteed to work. Number one, it's a little unorthodox, but if you eat every meal shirtless, wearing no shirt, and be sure that you have on a pair of pants that are a little bit too tight, like a little too small. Man, you talk about instant motivation. This is simple, but so powerful. It's just a really powerful way to shoot your motivation sky high. You'll instantly eat less, make better food choices, kickstart weight loss, and you'll probably feel really bad about yourself and your body, but hey, I mean, who cares, right? Because you're losing weight, and that's what really matters. That's what's really important. So what? Like, yeah, you've got a little bit or maybe a lot of embarrassment and inner ridicule going on, but if it works, it works. So just eat every meal with no shirt while wearing a pair of tight pants. Be sure you being seated is gives you a little extra advantage here, okay? If you're standing up, it's not quite as good. Tight pants, no shirt, sit down, and then eat. That's tip number one. Next up, tip number two. This is a special tip that will instantly reduce your cravings and help you stop snacking. So before eating any snack or dessert, I want a little bite of something sweet. Before you do any of that, pause for just a moment. You guys have heard me talk about the pause and how powerful a pause can be. Pause for a moment and take off all of your clothes, preferably in a private place. This is not a public thing. Take off all your clothes and stare at yourself in the mirror for 5 minutes straight. And if you still want to eat the dessert afterward, well, then go ahead and eat it. If you still want the snack, then go ahead. But first, before you have any dessert or any sweets or any snacks or anything like that, you must stare at yourself in the mirror naked for 5 minutes. Instantly, you'll reduce your cravings, and it will help you stop snacking. Next up, tip number 3. This is another little pre-meal trick that is guaranteed to help you drop some pounds. So before eating anything, like when it's time for lunch, before eating dinner, you might have heard like, if you drink a bunch of water, it'll fill you up, right? And then you won't eat as much. But no. This is so much better. I want you to watch videos, like find some videos online, maybe of surgery or anything else that makes you nauseous before eating any meal, and you will instantly eat less. Right? I mean, because you'll be disgusted. You'll be like nauseous and sick at your stomach. But here's the trick. Here's the way you can take this to the next level. After some time passes and your stomach feels more settled and you start to get hungry again, just watch some more disgusting videos. Your hunger will be controlled and you'll be much less likely to overeat. It's like magic. It's like a trick. Next up, trick number 4. And this one is a classic. It's an oldie but a goodie, okay? Just go lick the bottom of someone's shoe or maybe eat some rotten meat, some meat that you know, wow, this is not good. This doesn't smell good. It's kind of slimy. Just go ahead and eat that. Just go ahead and suck that down so that you can get a fierce stomach bug, like a really nasty stomach virus, and you won't be able to keep food down for 5 or 6 days, and it'll be great. You'll feel so encouraged because you'll definitely be dropping some weight. That weight you've always wanted to lose, it will be going. Sure, yeah, you might feel terrible, but I mean, who cares? Because the scales are going down, and that's what really matters. Next up, tip number 5. We often think of stress as a negative thing, but honestly, stress can be our friend, and it can help us drop those unwanted pounds. But you must really embrace the stress. And not only embrace it, you must really pour it on. Like, I want you to stress yourself out to the point that you develop a horrible stomach ulcer that will cause you to have a reduced appetite. Like, if you get a bad stomach ulcer, man, you'll have terrible pain anytime you eat, and then you may even get nauseous at times. You may have horrible acid reflux. This way, once you do this, once you've stressed yourself out enough to have this stomach ulcer, you'll instantly avoid food in general, and you'll magically start losing weight without even trying. That's the beauty of this. So many of these tips and tricks you don't even have to try. They take care of the problem for you. Next up, here's another great tip. Just eat tons of sugar. Oh, Corey, I like the way this is sounding, right? Yeah, we could headline this one. Magical way to lose weight while eating tons of sugar. Eat tons of sugar, but here's the kicker. Don't brush or floss your teeth for at least a month, so that eventually you'll get just a terrible toothache, and voila, you will instantly stop overeating, and that craving for sugar will be gone. Matter of fact, you'll probably just stop eating in general, and the weight will start to melt off. But you also must exert some willpower here, okay? You must resist the urge to go to the dentist and to get your tooth repaired. Like having a really painful tooth or entire mouth, that is a vital part of this approach, of this tip, okay? So you can't just run off to the dentist. Once you've done the hard work of creating a horrible toothache, you got to stick with it. Stick with it until you've lost all the weight that you want to lose. Wait, what's that? Wait, you don't like some of these options? Well, we always have the good old can't miss medical options. Maybe you could develop irritable bowel syndrome, liver disease, and of course, the weight loss miracle, cancer. I mean, everyone talks about cancer like it's a bad thing, but hey, if you're dying to lose weight, then it might be what you're looking for. Oh, sorry guys. Was that a little too much? Did I just cross the line with that one? You got to remember, my mother died of cancer, so I'm not speaking from some ignorant place over here. See, I'm sorry, but I'm really kind of not sorry, because I share all of these things to prove a few very specific, very powerful points. So many of us get so absolutely obsessed with losing weight, and we think and we feel like we're willing to do just about anything to trim down. And then in that pursuit, we lose sight of what's really important. We lose sight of the stuff that really matters in life. A healthy, pain-free or relatively pain-free body that gives us freedom. Freedom to gain weight, freedom to lose weight, freedom to be active, freedom to just relax on the couch. It gives us freedom when we're healthy and pain-free. All of the weight loss tips and tricks that I provided, they're all based in really negative stuff. They're based in shame, disgust, physical pain, and force, basically being forced to lose weight. If you lose weight by eating every meal shirtless while wearing a pair of pants that are too small, then you're just shaming yourself and hoping that once you lose a certain amount of weight that you can flip a switch, stop the shaming, stop the horrible inner dialogue, and then be happy with your body. It's not how it works, my friends. If you lose weight because of a terrible toothache or liver disease or, God forbid, cancer, it's not a positive thing. You will not be celebrating it. You won't be happy about it. You'll be wishing that you had your health and you could be intentionally pursuing weight loss again. Not be forced to lose weight because your body isn't healthy and you don't feel good. See, honestly, I can't stand tips or tricks. Why? Because, turn the volume up, because they don't work. At least not for what you truly want. They don't work for long-term, life-changing weight loss success. So you want a weight loss tip? Okay, here it is. Don't rely on tips and tricks to achieve true long-term success. Tips and tricks are more like Band-Aids. They're short-term help until the real long-term healing and change happens. That's what a Band-Aid does. It's like fake skin that allows healing to happen underneath it. That's what tips and tricks are like. Think about the word trick. you probably instantly, another word pops into your mind, magic, right? A trick is supposed to be magic. There's no such thing as weight loss magic. You can't trick your body. Let's just pull back and think about all of this in terms of a house. Tips are good if you want to fix your leaky sink that won't quit dripping. But tips and tricks won't work if you want to remodel the entire house from the ground up. And that's what true weight loss success is. We're remodeling our physical body and our brain, how we think and what we believe from the ground up. We are rewiring 20, 30, maybe 40 years of eating habits, lifestyle choices, thought patterns, and the repeating ruts that we typically fall into. So, here's what I would love for you to take away from this little short but hopefully powerful episode. Number one, I think we need to realize that sometimes we take things for granted, and it is super important to make a conscious effort not to do that. Not to allow our desire for weight loss to overshadow the incredible blessings that we have. Sure, you may be overweight, and maybe you don't like your body, and I'm sorry, but look, it's okay. I hear you, and I truly want to help. I do. But when we think of all the various health problems that we could have that would also cause weight loss, if we're really honest, we'll take our healthy body along with some extra weight. I mean, I don't know about you, but I would rather have the freedom to make different choices that will help with weight loss versus being forced to lose weight because of some terrible medical diagnosis. This is probably going to sound weird, but we should be incredibly thankful for the luxury of being overweight. It means that we're healthy enough to gain weight, and we have plenty of food to eat. Those are two amazing blessings that a lot of people on this planet do not have. So let's not take them for granted, guys. And instead, let's choose to be thankful. This doesn't mean that you're giving up and you're, well, I'm just overweight, I'm just fat, and I'm okay with it. No, that's not what I'm saying. We can simultaneously, at the same time, be incredibly thankful for all of the blessings we have. And I believe not only can we do that while pursuing weight loss, I think that will help us move towards weight loss. So that's the first thing. Let's try not to take the really, really awesome, really important things for granted. Next up, number 2, shame sucks. Shame doesn't help. Negative stuff rarely leads to the wonderful, positive place that we want to be in life. We slip into this place of thinking our life is terrible, and we develop a nasty habit of just really hating our body. And that eventually spills over into almost every area of life, doesn't it? That negative voice in our head gets louder and louder and more frequent. And then we have more shame, we have more embarrassment, more regret, more feelings of unworthiness, and less confidence. And then, whether we realize it or not, sometimes, eventually, we might even start trying to use all of that negativity to lose weight. We think we can use all of that crap for fuel. We'll shame ourselves to success. Have you ever heard someone say that that was the secret to their success and happiness? It's like, oh man, hey, you look great. Yeah, thanks. I just shamed myself so mercilessly that I started working out every day as a way to punish myself. And I stopped eating anything that was the slightest bit delicious because, man, I just hated my body and I was so disgusted. And man, the weight magically came off. And now I'm so happy with myself. People don't say that because it doesn't work. That's not how it works. So that's tip number 2. Shame doesn't help. And then number 3, last but not least, maybe it's time that we stop looking for tips and tricks, unless you're trying to repair your leaky faucet. In that case, sure, maybe that'll be helpful. But when it comes to losing weight, tips and tricks just don't work. Trust me, they don't work. You don't need tips and tricks. You need a comprehensive remodeling plan. And I've talked about this before on the podcast, but I believe any weight loss plan, anything that you pursue out there, make sure that it checks all 4 things, okay? Number 1, you want it to be structured. It needs to provide some structure for you, just like if you had a remodeling plan in your house, for your house. If there wasn't some structure of the way you were going to go about things and how it was laid out to be accomplished, well, then you'd still be lost. So it needs to be structured, yet at the same time, it needs to be flexible. If your plan isn't flexible, then as soon as something starts to break down, as soon as you have a problem, as soon as life gets busy, well, then everything crumbles. So it needs to be structured, but yet it also needs to be flexible. And then it needs to be progressive. If you start doing way too much too soon, you're just going to get overwhelmed. Just like with remodeling your house. If they said, okay, we're going to start by tearing everything down tomorrow and you got to find a new place to live and then we're going to start rebuilding, you would be like, whoa, wait a minute. It's a little too much. We want it to be progressive. Maybe you start remodeling one room, just one room, and you can tackle that. Structured, flexible, but progressive, not too much too soon. That's what you want, a structured, flexible, progressive plan. You need to have all of these in order for it to be successful. That's the way my program is structured. Those are the rules that my program follows. But you don't have to do my program. You can do whatever works for you, but I encourage you to make sure it checks off all of those things. And I encourage you to really make a conscious effort. And don't shame yourself. If you're like, oh my gosh, Corey made an episode saying how shame sucks, to shame me for not being thankful for the things in life that have allowed me to be overweight. No, I'm not shaming you. I'm just wanting to point this out because guess what? I fall victim to it myself. But maybe we should make a little more effort to not take the really, really important things for granted, to not get lost in the negativity of going, wow, I don't like my body or I'm overweight, and to go, you know what? Being overweight is a luxury, and I want to change that, but I'm really thankful for the incredible blessings I have. Number 2, please don't forget that shame is not helpful. I'm not here to shame you, and if you ever feel that way from listening to an episode, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. I hope that's not the case. I'm not here to shame you, and I don't want you to shame yourself, because it's really hard to get something positive when we just keep planting a bunch of negative seeds. And then last but not least, tips and tricks aren't the path to true success. I hope that all of this has been helpful. I hope you'll share it with someone else who might find it helpful also. And I hope that 2 or 3 of you will discuss it, because that's how you'll really get the most out of this podcast. And then I also hope that you know and you never forget that there's so much more to you than a number. So don't let the scales dominate your headspace or dictate your emotions for the day. No. There's more to you than that. And losing weight's incredible. I love helping people do it. But losing weight is really more than just fitting into a smaller size of clothes or seeing the number on one stupid little machine that sits in your bathroom go down. It's about so much more. It's about living the life that you've always wanted to. Losing weight is about gaining life, and you can do it. I believe in you 100%. And even if you don't believe, just borrow my belief. Keep coming back. I'll keep working on you, and we will get you there, my friend. Thank you so much for your time today. You could have spent it anywhere. You spent it with me, and I am incredibly grateful. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.